All right. Good morning and happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And it looks like we are all set for today. So let's go ahead and dive right in. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It is November 15th, 2021. And let's take a quick recap of last week. Let's talk about our weekly expected move for the week, kind of what we do on every Monday, get a sense for market volatility, some of the expectations of price movement, and where some of those risk levels may be. If we look at our charts on the SPX last week, we had a pretty interesting development that hasn't occurred for about a month's time. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been churning to the upside, basically breaking out from a period of consolidation. And in that breakout period, we haven't really seen a lot of consolidation. We've been seeing more momentum style trading. From the perspective of the expected move, we've had multiple breaches or tests of this top side expected move level. And that has been very powerful because of the continual gamma exposure in this market. We've seen it with stocks like Tesla. We've seen it with stocks like NVIDIA and AMD. And ultimately, there's been a lot of speculation in the market, leading to higher and higher prices and leading to that momentum-based trading, which, as we can see, has hit a bit of a stall point. Last week, the option market was predicting approximately a 60 to 65 point expected move. That put our low side expected move price level at about 46.35. And you can see that on last week's session, we did have a bit of a stall out of some of that bullish momentum. The market was finally able to put in a bit of a pullback, and ultimately that pullback was held, at least from the weekly perspective, on that expected move level, about 46.35. More notably, if we look a little closer, we can see that not only did the market move to this risk level, but the inability for the market to get more expansive in its volatility, basically to breach that risk level and to show potentially some more hedging activity needing to occur. That was held on Wednesday's session, and that led to a nice follow-through rally into Thursday and Friday session. So, as we know, this is not necessarily about support and resistance. It's not necessarily about where the market deems buyers and sellers to be. But what it does is it gives us a sense of where does volatility need to expand, and when does the market start to breach expectations, at which point different firms, different hedging activities need to begin. And ultimately that can lead to expansive intraday ranges or more wild price action. So as we closed last week at about 46.82 on the SPX, we're coming into this week with approximately a 60 point expected move. Keep in mind that this week is a dual series week. We do have an AM settled series on Friday. This is going to be closing at approximately 8:30, I believe, Eastern time. And then we have our normal series, which will be closing at the end of Friday's session. And once again, getting these values, we want to be looking at the SPX on the close of last week. Just noting that on the 19th November series, we're looking at approximately a 60 point expected move. So what that does is it puts our top side risk level at about 47.43 for the week, a little bit of an inside range compared to last week. But we also have our low side slightly below both the low of last week and below the low of the expected move last week, which of course was tested, and that's at about 46.22. So we really haven't seen too much in the way of volatility expansion. However, we do see that the market has an ability to test these upper and lower levels. And while last week was our first sign of a pullback, we're also seeing that the market is willing to close near the weekly open. And that, of course, leaves us in a bit of an indecisive type candle. Some people might argue this is a bit of a hanging man. And on the weekly, if we start to break the low of last week, we do have a bit of confirmation that the downside may be not over. And we'll be looking at things like previous swing highs or just previous support levels to see where new buyers wish to step in. Now, shifting over to our SPY and just pulling up our normal view of the market. Overall, this market continues to be in a fairly strong uptrend. Nothing really of concern when it comes to moving averages or just overall price level support. Ultimately, being bearish when a market is making new all-time highs can be a bit challenging, as we have new range exploration, we have new price level exploration, and we have a marketplace that is willing to rotate into different sectors to continue that strength. It's notable that last week we had some continued bullish activity inside of tech amidst a fairly deeper correction inside of the NASDAQ. Ultimately, some of that volatility coming from stocks like Tesla. And while that did affect some short-term trading in the mid-sessions, if we look at something like tech, specifically with XLK, you'll note that the correction basically has been completed. And on Friday's session, we're potentially seeing another topside test and potential breakout to continue. We'll want to be watching some short-term trend lines, things like the most relevant trend lines on deeper corrections, along with the fact that this market has started to accelerate to the upside on this breakout. These are levels that ultimately can provide signals for both short-term trade opportunities and whether the trend is more likely to continue on its more aggressive upside path. Some of that volatility as well being seen inside of consumer discretionaries. As mentioned with stocks like Tesla, you can see that higher volatility day, that higher volume day, facilitated by some of the downside movement in Tesla stock. But we also have key names like Amazon being rotated into during these sessions. Very notable that the entire sector is not necessarily seeing a correlated sell, but more or less we're seeing different underlyings take precedent at different times. So continued strength and watching those key sectors, while also avoiding sectors that are more consolidative, at least from a trading perspective. Energy, one of our previous lead bulls, has been a bit trapped inside of a trading range. We look at maybe the past 10 days. That's not enough data. Let's look at 30 days. We can see very clear lows and highs being made, lack of follow through from the top side of the range. And notable to see things like crude as well putting in similar price action. We've marked key levels, approximately $84 a barrel. These are monthly, sort of yearly levels that have very strong interactions in the past. And these are just acting as guides. We don't necessarily want to be super bullish into these levels because ultimately in the past they have reacted quite strongly. Very similar to our previous level, approximately 77 a barrel. And what we're seeing is ultimately not the same type of rejection, but a lot of indecision, a lot of chop. If we pull it up to a weekly, we can see that yes, it is sort of in that pullback look, but really we haven't lost too much altitude from low to high. Essentially, market is a bit indecisive at these price levels, and that can lead to challenging trade in sectors that have strong dependence on these asset classes. The likes of energy and XOP, if you're looking at oil and gas exploration. Now, that's also a bit true with natural gas, although the volatility is much higher in this market. You can also see that we're starting to slightly breach the downside risk level of approximately $5. If I look at a weekly here, uptrend still remains relatively intact on the weekly, although we did print a lower high and have breached this low. However, the 20 moving average is sort of swooping in to possibly lead to a bit of a squeeze back into these upper volatility levels. So energy right now might be taking a bit of a breather. We're ultimately looking for some signals from last week to get us a bit more clarity. And ultimately, that is also true of some similar sectors that perform with energy, the likes of financials. Last Friday, putting in a possible bullish pin bar. We're back at our trend line support. So this is definitely where we'd want to see some continuation. But all I have to do is look at the past 5 days and say that that is a pretty challenging chart to manage both risk and also see any sort of upside potential. So financials have a bit of a headwind in this market, the likes of interest rates coming back to the top side. And that has been sort of on watch past couple of days. Thursday, notable Veterans Day, bond market was closed, but we're seeing tons of volatility in the bond market space. And that has led to some pretty wild price action in highly correlated sectors. However, with financials, that has not necessarily been the case, as it's been more consolidative in nature. Industrials as well, coming into that topside range, just showing some of those different sectors across the board. And then materials, this is making new all-time highs. And this is an actual breakout on weekly, monthly, and daily timeframes. Lots of continuation in the space. Definitely want to keep this one on watch, as the same effects can take place. We tend to hit certain price levels and then we find ourselves much more range bound trading, basically not seeing the same follow through. And this has been happening with some of our lead bull sectors. Money has been flowing in and out of different sectors at different times, letting the market remain strong as a whole, but not necessarily seeing one sector outperform for weeks to months on end. Go finally to our healthcare sector. This is a great example of one where past couple of weeks we actually saw a breakout and a retracement downtrend line be rejected, aka leading to some bullish activity. But the last probably week to week and a half, not necessarily seeing that same volatility to the upside. Also notable, this one has not recovered its recent highs. So market continually allowing for different sectors to perform at different times. This is normally pretty healthy for a bullish market. And one key thing to keep in mind is we have a lot of tech dominance, which we previously showed with the likes of XOK. That tech dominance, to some degree, has been helped by what is occurring in the bond market. Once again, just bringing up TLT as a bit of a proxy for 10 to 20-year bond performance or note performance. And you can see past couple weeks, massive momentum move back to some of these upper range levels. We're getting a bit of a rejection past couple of days at a lower high area, something that has been rejected in the past, leading to a collapse of range-bound trading. Now, last week we got CPI numbers on Wednesday. You can see that as we rejected this lower high, those numbers did come out and we saw plenty of downside volatility as a reaction from this new information. So will tech continue to perform if we start to see this roll off once again, something similar to what we saw on the recent test? If not, then the bond market may form the potential for something like a cup and handle. And that's going to be more or less seen on the weekly, where we had a full 100% retracement, basically showing different time frames, presenting different pictures. Um, Obviously, it's more advantageous to be a bull near the lows, allowing for more upside potential. It's more advantageous to be a bear near these key levels that have rejected in the past, basically trusting them on the full retracement. And then ultimately, if things are going to set up bullish again, we want to see maybe that higher low type setup. Somewhere near the range low would be an ideal spot for this market to curl and ultimately break higher if it wishes to do so. That, of course, would be against some of the longer term thesis that this market is feeling a lot of pressure based on inflationary concerns. But that is what the charts are telling us, and ultimately the market is never wrong. So we want to trust in what the price action is doing and just see if we get a counter reaction against some of these key levels. So bond performance past couple of weeks to the upside, that has led to tech performance. Now we're seeing a bit of that corrective nature. You can see the Wednesday sell-off in bonds corresponds pretty well to some of the downside volatility last week in consumer discretionaries, and even tech on Wednesday seeing a bit of a drawdown and a gap down from its highs. So just keeping these things on watch. We have lead bulls. They're breaking to new all-time highs, but the ability for these markets to consolidate or pull back allows us to be a bit more cautious when maybe entering new positions near elevated levels. Now, some items from last week. We've had a couple of successful call-outs over different sessions. Most of those call-outs are going to be available through the BBT chat room. We hope you join us there. But I've been mentioning a few of them on these sessions, and we'll kind of take a look at how they've been performing week over week. One of which I found pretty interesting was a possible sentiment shift in what is essentially the cannabis space. And this is going to be US cannabis using MSOS as my ETF. And this is going to be multi-state operators uplisted inside of this ETF. So last week we saw a Friday reaction, bit of a short squeeze on some news. That, of course, was a momentum move. It didn't necessarily have enough staying power to hold some of these topside gains. But structurally, if we start to maybe remove these lines and look a little bit more nuanced at the price level, we can see that a gap formed on the chart. And while this move didn't have enough staying power on the first reaction, we actually did what's called a gap fill on our daily, repairing some of the backside structure. One of our moderators actually calls it sort of backing up the truck, maybe repairing a little bit of the immediate price movement. And now we're seeing that continuation. Once again, notable volume here. Lots of sentiment shifts often occur with elevated volume. And what we're looking for is some technical structure to form. The likes of this gap fill was an early sign. The likes of the daily trend change, we are now making higher highs compared to the last swing high and higher lows with continuation so far. So this market looks ready to be in play. Ultimately, if you were early or if you saw those early signs, you may have gotten good prices. And you also had some time to basically think about your strategy, option trading, share trading, or basically just positioning well for this eventual breakout. Some possible targets. We'll want to keep things kind of simple here for now. Want to be looking at maybe some extensions. Oops, wrong way. Got to draw it the opposite way for the extension. So if this is sort of a very short-term range, we sort of made our highs and lows. We've got our breakout possibly underway. We'll see if this holds today. But we did close above the previous swing high, so technically that is a breakout. And we have some upside extensions, something like low 35s on the 161. And really, if this market does get moving, we're looking for essentially a 2 times expansion from low to high, about a $6 move, from the range itself, we'd love to see another $6. But more simply, just noting that this can be conceived as a bit of a flag type pattern. And all we have to do for flags is simply measure the first move, extend it from the low, or the swing low in this case, of the setup, and then just mark the top side of the flag once again. That brings us to approximately 34.50. So conservative, aggressive targets. Obviously, I'm looking at this as more of a monthly sort of sentiment change, and this trade so far has triggered quite well. So congratulations to those who took advantage. Ultimately, a position throughout last week. And the idea here was we had plenty of time to prepare, so now we get to reap some of the benefits of momentum. Another interesting spot in the market continues to be the crypto space. I want to just note a few challenges in this space that are showing themselves quite evidently. I'll shift back over to sort of a risk factor in the market. That continues to be the dollar, which has broken out on last week's session. Same basic idea here. Bond reaction was quite bearish. Dollar reaction was quite bullish. So while the crypto market, especially the likes of Bitcoin, they love to see dollar weakness. That often provides equity strength, crypto strength, sort of a risk on mindset. And then, of course, with the bond market, if bonds are headed down, that is essentially what risk on means. Bond markets down, interest rates rising higher, risk on assets, looking for those to outperform other asset classes, not necessarily be all out bullish, but outperformance, different percentage gains in those timeframes. So a little bit of a mixed bag here with the dollar strength, the bond weakness, aka interest rate strength, returning. And what we've seen is maybe some hesitation in the underlying asset. The likes of Bitcoin did make new all-time highs last week, but of course, lack of follow-through, lack of continuation. And what this does is it starts to bring up some concerns with momentum. Something like that RSI study that we looked at last week, we start to see things like divergence forming, where new highs are made on overextended markets. Corrections occur, and then the second attempt for a breakout not only fails from a price level perspective, but we get divergence in the RSI readings. Usually when you want to see good continuation on a trend, you either want to come from a low and cycle to a high that basically allows for the market to sort of grind higher and leads to that overextension near the highs, basically the full cycle, or you want to be looking at previous fractals, basically previous patterns that this market goes through, and be a bit concerned about things like highs with divergence. Market, of course, seeing a massive correction back in time as we lost the 20-period daily moving average, and that was made on multiple highs on the price, but divergence on the RSI. So just kind of watching this. If you do have access to on-chain data, if you're looking at maybe some supply-demand nuances and maybe some long-term versus short-term holdings, you might also be seeing some interesting spikes starting to occur as maybe some longer term holds are starting to profit take a bit at these levels. That may lead to a shorter term correction, something like a weekly pullback. And that, of course, is going to be something that will shake up the market once again. We'll see the same sort of sentiment change, people saying, okay, well, that was the top. Market can't head higher. But as we've seen, this market continues to be a bit of an outperformer overall. And in the economic conditions that we're in, especially if the dollar can start to pull back from these approximately 95 prints, this market may once again lead to some of the predictions for the end of the year. A lot of people kind of looking at the stock to flow model for some of those top side predictions. So interesting markets overall. And as traders, we love to look at some of the outperformance inside of the equity market. Stocks like Riot, which has been sort of a laggard in the most recent breakout to new highs. That one is now starting to see that bullish momentum, albeit it's coming right into its earnings at the end of today's market session. But over the past week or so, this has been one of the more bullish miners that you can take advantage of. And that, of course, has been led by new highs in Mara. These are relative highs, not necessarily all-time highs. You can see Mara had some previous highs back in time. But with this momentum, lots of intraday swing opportunity. And then, of course, a bit of an overcorrection on earnings. This was, of course, seen past week, and then we're seeing a bit of a recovery. So just kind of keep this stock in mind. Lead bulls like to sort of set the stage. People often will see maybe a risk coming into that lead bull. The speculation starts to wane a bit, and that speculative nature moves to laggards. Essentially, money rotates from things that have a binary risk, something like earnings, or just a lack of momentum. Maybe it's gone a bit too far too fast. Now, stocks like Riot or some of the more laggard minor type stocks can outperform in those daily to weekly sessions. Remember, this is very short term in nature, money cycling both intraday and daily time frames. So a couple of stock ideas, especially for today, and just to kind of show how that shows in our watch lists, we have still Canadian MJ as one of the leaders in terms of equity movement. A lot of people prefer trading the uplisted stocks. USMJ, not too many names are going to be uplisted on the NYSE or the NASDAQ. So that's why that MSOS ETF provides some of that exposure. But lead bulls in the Canadian MJ space, Tilray. And then just looking at the ETF itself, you can see here that this also had a breakout and some new bullish activity returning. This is once again that same sentiment shift, the likes of a daily trend change. These are things that we want to be looking for to position ourselves for more core type trading. You want to be at good prices. You want to see sentiment change for a period of time. And that core trade is something that you can hope for follow through more so than just a one-time sort of impulsive move. So as we see this sort of change in November, we'll kind of see how far this goes. But that has been sort of a key thing to watch and to basically look for those early signs. Let's see. Last but not least, I'm going to just shift to the IWM, just reiterating that this market is still in its sort of weekly breakout mode. We have hit essentially our first extension target. This is that fib 161.8. I'm using the IWM here, and I'm using very specific price levels based on range definition, not false breakouts, and ultimately not engulfing patterns on the weekly. This market has been pretty challenging for a lot of traders from a directional sense, but just showing that weekly breakout, that over extension into our first target, and just looking to see where this pullback settles if this is going to continue. So that's pretty much it. Lots of sort of reiteration from last week. Lots of new stuff kind of coming into focus. It's a brand new week. New stuff is going to show up on the watch list. We had a couple of earnings last week. The likes of Disney and PayPal were main stocks in focus. Disney had a bit of a downside move. We did lose some support, and we came to test this swing low, approximately 160.50. And I would say on an intraday time frame, definitely more advantageous to be a bit of a bear throughout the session after earnings. And we're even seeing a lack of follow through on Friday session. So this put a little damper in the Dow. Disney is a key underlying in the Dow, maybe not as heavy as some of our higher stock price names, but the Dow is comprised of only 30 stocks. one going down about 10% will make a bit of a damper in the momentum. And likes of PayPal as well, also seeing lots of downside after earnings, but stabilizing itself around the 200 print. So once again, just noting where these stocks are, thinking about things that aren't necessarily bullish off of a support level, off of a psychological level, but maybe a bit of a cautionary bull stance, selling premium near these price levels, or starting to think about some option spreads that put you into a good position if the stock is to re-rally, and even just back testing where the gap has formed. These are all some ways to maybe think about stocks like these on this weekly session. So with that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Market. Hopefully y'all been gaining some insight into how I view the markets. Obviously, lots of information to digest every single day, but the idea here is simple. If you gain one or two things a week, eventually you'll kind of know a little bit of everything, and that'll hopefully help you gain more edge in this market. So trade safe, continue to evaluate risk to reward, look at how this market is performing through earnings, through some of the gaps, and basically start to build your strategies around what the market is offering. So take care, trade safe, stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you're having a great morning. Hold on a second, guys. I forgot one thing here. One second.
Hear me on the? Oh,
Here we go. Can you guys hear me now as well? I forgot my headphones. I couldn't hear you.
Hear me?
Oh, yes, I can now with my headphones.
All right. I don't recognize you, but I can hear you.
Yeah, nice cut.
You're one clean cut individual this morning.
And I did this one myself, man. I'm actually pretty proud of this one.
All
It's
right.
getting better and better as the more I do it, and the more my barber probably hates me. But yeah,
So fresh and so clean.
I'm telling you, man. Guys, good morning. Norm, a special happy birthday to you, my friend.
Thank you,
So hopefully is that exactly today, or was it over the weekend? Is exactly
it's
today?
today.
Ah, very nice. So guys, let's give a big shout out to Norm there. Thank you very much, my friend, for being such a great dude, brother. Being such a great dude
Thank
that I
you,
get to
guys.
work
I
with
appreciate it.
every single morning. So I
Likewise.
appreciate that as well. All right, guys. Let's get to it. Our gappers list this morning, very strong. A lot of stuff here in the green today. As you can see, the SPY is just ripping, trying to slam into some
Thanks,
all-time
everybody.
highs over here. Yeah, nice. Chat is going crazy on both ends. I love it.
Yeah, I know. I can't even keep it up. I can't even keep up with it. So thank you very much. And guys,
Love it, love
I'm
it.
not feeling very well this morning, there's all kinds of stuff in the air down here, and I think I've got a sinus infection that started with allergies. So if I happen to disappear in the middle of the show, it's not because I'm out doing birthday shots. It's just I'm trying to pull through, but we'll see.
Yeah. I hope you feel better, man. So yeah, guys. Again, very strong stuff. Actually, Norm, let's get to the SPY and the overall news, and then we'll kind of get to your stuff first. In case you want to drop off, man, we could actually do that today.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are right up against all-time highs that we set, the beginning of last week, end of the week before, right up that 470 number. So we'll see how the SPY reacts when we get there. Looking pretty strong this morning with it up 0.4% and the NASDAQ up 0.5%. So yeah, the only thing we had this morning, I think, Empire State Manufacturing Index came out at 8:30. I haven't seen the number, but obviously it's not causing much of a change in the last 5 minutes in the market. We're just kind of hovering there. So still in the middle of earnings season. Thanksgiving coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. This gappers list, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of stuff in the green. Let's go through some of the stuff on here. A little bit in the red this morning as well. Let's start with drugs. Well, DRUG this morning. Ricardo,
That, brother.
thank you very much. Happy birthday, Norm. Thank you very much for that $10 bond, Ricardo. Appreciate it very,
Thank you,
very
Ricardo.
much.
Much appreciated.
That will not go to buy him shots, but it will go to a very good cause, which is the charity of the month. And this month is Alzheimer's, so any donations will be going to that cause, and match dollar for dollar by Andrew as well. So to get started here, we got some DRUG in place. This one is up 58%, guys. 677,000 shares traded. So definitely got some movement here at the moment. It's a 7 million shares float. I want to see a little more clean trading out of this. Norm, as our low flow expert, which I know you're not, but I'm still going to use that title. What do you think about this one?
I think it was trading on pink sheets or so. I'm trying to find the catalyst, and the only thing I see is that it's commenced trading on the NASDAQ. So I don't know if I think this might have been trading on pink sheets or something, or over the OTCs until recently. That's all I can find. Don't hold me to that because I'm not 100%. It just popped up on the list. It looks a little erratic to me, but we'll see. Maybe it does something.
Yeah, I have it here as a possible. Again, it definitely needs more volume, which it seems to be getting. But guys, this is dangerous. This is moving 750 just 15 minutes ago up to almost 12, back down to 9, and you're not getting that clean order flow just yet. So
I was watching this right after that first candle because it popped up on our gappers list pretty quick, and I was watching right after that first candle. It hesitated at 11 to try to get through it the second time, and then just collapsed a buck in like almost instantly when I was watching it. So.
yeah. So very, very careful. Andre here coming in with the $10 bomb. Thank you very much, Andre. There as well, man. Some love for Norm, the ticker Norm there. He put the dollar sign in the front. Appreciate that very much, man. Thank you for that. Guys, let's go to the next one. We have almost said Egypt here, but it's actually EYPT. So EYPT, this one is up 37%. Also a little bit on the lower side, 21 million shares traded. It is up 37, 1.8 million. Not as clean though, right? I mean, it just doesn't look great. I'm not sure about this one, guys. Yeah, it looks very, very choppy. GGPI this morning, they are up 12%, 9.9 million. Not a low flow stock, but the pre-market action very active this morning. A nice range in here. Daily had a good day on Friday, continuing that today. Not sure what kind of company this is.
It's a
Gores.
SPAC. This is a SPAC that is it's going to be merging and de-SPACing with Swedish EV maker Polestar.
Okay. Just not sure how clean that is going to be, guys. I'm going to skip on this one. Let's see if we find something a little bit better. NCTY this morning. We've seen this before plenty of times in our gapping up and gapping down list. It trades horrible. I don't think I ever kept this on my list, and I don't plan to today, guys. It just doesn't look good at all. Heading down to DLTR today, they are up 6.6. This is a very difficult stock to trade. We also seen this quite a bit on our list, and again, it's one of these stocks that can move a lot, but with very light volume. Only 120,000 this morning, and you can see how thin this thing is trading. So I'd rather skip on this one. TRY was very active last week. This week looking very good, guys. Up 6%, 2.2 million. This thing is on fire. This thing is doing very, very well. So I'm going to add this on here.
Sector has been kind of moving in the last.
Well, some of the other ones, I know we used to watch Cron a lot, CRON. That is also moving, guys. Not as clean as TRY. It's funny how TRY was not really we would never look at TRY like a year ago. It was just so wild. But now it's come down a bit. This has come down to reality a little bit, and it's actually tradable. Probably one of the best ones out of all of these, I in my opinion only, right? CGC, CRN is hot. That's another one too that we always see a lot. Is it APHA? That might not be it. I forget. There's one more that's very active, but I like TRY, guys. It's looking very good this morning. That's going to be on my list. Great volume, up 6.1, 6.2. An amazing daily here. Very strong right now. So that is on deck. Riot this morning. Got some Bitcoin stuff in here. They're up 5.7, 1.2 million. Mara is not doing so hot. They're down 2.7. So Riot seems to be a little more active this morning. So I wonder, what a swing. Is there any specific news on Riot though? Because everything else seems to be a little bit down. But I'm gonna put Riot here. We'll put Riot. It's definitely in play. 1.2 guys, 5.7. So that looks good. Alpha merged with someone. Who did they merge with? ACB. Oh, there you go, Jared. ACB is another one too. Yeah, ACB looks good, guys. You can watch this as well. Lower price range. $8 instead of the 13 over, not by much, 13 at a TRY, but that's another one you can watch. Also looking pretty good this morning, ACB. All right, thank you for that. Riot, I'm going to keep on there, guys. Looks good. I wonder why Riot is the only one up this morning and Mara is not. Interesting. VUZI, no good, guys. Horrible pre-market action. We'll skip on that one. Here's Cone. And Cone is up 4.5, 1.1 million. Looks like a buyout, but volume might be a little bit light for it. But it's just, I don't know how you would trade this. It just does not look good.
This first of all, this is a REIT. Second of all, they are being taken over, so this is thrown out.
With this Con, right? Cone, whatever.
Yep. Cone, yeah.
Yep. All right. So no good there, guys. Jared, thank you so much, man. Coming in with happy birthday, Noah. Remember that alcohol and medium rare steaks kill germs based on some doctor opinions.
Medium rare is burned.
Oh, man. Thank you very much, Jared, for that. Appreciate you, man. Jared. Very nice. All right. Let's see down here. So this is no good. Skip on this. Here's CGC, which is also active. I'm going to throw it on here as well. We're not going to watch all three of them, but we'll keep an eye on them for now. We'll put maybe some in our possibles list. I'm going to stop after this one because I like BA. And BA actually looks very good this morning, guys. 484, up 3.4. I like what's happening here. Slamming up against an area. Where's my pen? Slamming up against an area of prior resistance. We haven't been up here since early October, late September. So I'll definitely like what's happening there. Let's put
you guys are going to get me canceled on my birthday.
No, man. That can never happen. This was BA, right? I like BA. Let's put BA here. BA, perfect. All right, let's stop here. There's some more down here as well. Some more Bitcoin stuff. I said BitF, IonQ, which is again, I just don't this ticker. It's just always here. I'm not sure what's going on there. We got Macy's though. I'm interested in what Macy's is doing on our gap list today. They're up 2%, a light volume. Their daily looks to be consolidating of some sort here.
We have earnings later in the week, but I'm not seeing anything as of this morning that would be causing them to
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
So
Definitely no volume on it, which is not rare for any nicey stock like Macy's, but the daily does look very good. We'd love to see what happens after earnings, so we'll be on the lookout for that. All right, gapping down, guys. We have OTLY. OTLY this morning, they're down 15%, 724,000. Big drop. These guys don't get a whole lot of volume, as you can see here. This whole entire stretch is like below 5 million on the daily. What's the float on this company? We're looking at, it's a large, 559.
Oatly.
Oatly, yeah. Are they any good?
Swedish.
Okay, foreign.
It's oat milk. It's Swedish. They had earnings this morning. I have not gotten into that. Obviously, they're getting smacked on that. But
Let's put them as a possible. I mean, they're foreign. They might not trade very well. I like this drop though. I like the volume.
it's not as bad of a chart as we often see with foreign, specifically European tickers. But
Yeah, it's
might
not.
do
So,
something.
but let's see what's going on there. EVGO this morning, they are down 8.1, 800,000 shares traded. This could be interesting. Nice big drop for them after a couple of nice green days in here. Let's put EVGO here. We'll take a second look at that one. BKKT, this is one we've seen in the past. I just think it's lost its juice, man. It just hasn't done much, so I'm not going to waste my time on that one. AGC this morning, also another one that just looks horrible. So no good there. Mara is down. It's interesting how they were up this morning, then they were down, then flat and back down. So I gotta say, it is an interesting pre-market activity. I think maybe I'm going to add these guys as a possible. Just a lot of swings happening there on that one. Rivian, RIVN, showing a red day today. This is down 2.4, 1 million shares traded. Again, tons of volume on this thing. It might be just slowing down eventually, but I'm going to add it here just as entertainment purposes. I don't think it's really in play right now, although the volume looks very good. I think the hype has been, for an IPO, has been a successful hype on this one. Let's see if they can hold here. Are they going to hold or come back down to their IPO price? But again, rarely we see a stock that is able to maintain above their IPO price with the volume these guys are doing. So that is exciting to see. Here is Tesla this morning. They are down 2.1, 581. I think it has become just insane lately, the price action on this one.
Did you see? Did you see Elon Musk's tweet?
Oh, what did he send now? I haven't seen it.
So this is not the at the senator, which was the week before, but that senator from I believe Oregon, that I won't repeat again. But I think it was over the weekend. Bernie Sanders talked about taxing rich people, and Elon responded to him, "I keep forgetting you're still alive."
This guy. Oh man! Oh boy! I gotta tell you, he is funny. He is.
He just no F's are given.
It's funny to be at that level that he is, right? With a huge company that watches everything he says, and he's coming up with stuff like that. It's just hilarious to me, man. All right, Tesla guys, definitely in play. I mean, I'm not gonna watch. I think it has become a little tough to trade. They have 587,000 here. They're down 2.1. I'm going to skip on it, though. I think I'd rather watch something else this morning, which you don't have a whole lot, right? So there's a lot in this gappers list, but it's not a lot that looks great. It's a lot of garbage in here that we skipped on. So we'll see if that gets better as we move forward in the morning here. Norm, anything you like on your end today?
No, brother. I haven't really gotten into it today since I don't plan on trading. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I'm gonna drop off because I'm rough. I can't even. I've got a splitting headache, bud. So
no,
you
dude,
take it from here.
Dude, take care. I got it from here, man. Have an amazing birthday today. Hopefully you feel better first and foremost. And dude, we'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Thank you, brother. Take care.
Take it easy, my friend.
I'm just gonna leave my camera here and I'll be in a still frame like this.
That's perfect. And did he do it? Yeah, he did. Oh, beautiful thing. Anybody logging on to the show a little bit later is gonna be like, "What's wrong with Norm? He's trying to say something." Carlos, can you let him speak? All right, guys. So let's get to it here. Let's go to the chat room. Let's go to the chat. Let's see what we have in our chat here. I'm gonna just switch over, and we'll see what you guys like this morning. So where's my chat tab? Here it is. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Let's get in here. Christoph. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Christoph, right? There's a lot of letters in there, but I think some are silent. So Christoph is giving us AMD. AMD this morning, they are pretty much flat, but the volume is okay. It's not bad. You do have a nice little range here today. I do like the daily on AMD. I think it could be setting up to do something pretty nice here, depending how the market is going to be. The market right now still showing some signs of strength. I like the fact that we're trying to get into this all-time high situation here at 470-ish around there. That could be interesting. So again, we're up almost a 0.5% here on the SPY today. That could be nice. So AMD is a good one. Heading down, we do have AMD. Thank you. Jack is giving us that one as well. That's good. Lucid was great yesterday. Lucid here, guys. This one was a good one. Not yesterday, I'm sorry. Last week. Last week we had some pretty good trades on Lucid. This morning already 1.4 million. And they have an amazing active pre-market situation happening here. So I do like Lucid. I am going to add them to my main pile right over here. Somebody asked if I traded yesterday. No, man, I did not. Yesterday we had my son's birthday party, so I'm a little tired, but it was so much fun. He really truly enjoyed himself. mRNA, what do we got going on here? Flat at the moment. So not a whole lot going on. Volume is light, guys. I don't see this one being too great right now. So Greg, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. This thing has just been hanging here, right? Probably looking for a pop eventually. Start to close this gap. We had a nice little drop down here the last 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah, it could get interesting if they decide to start closing this gap a little bit here, but we need more volume for sure. Definitely one to look for in our scanners. Here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been pretty good, very similar to AMD. I'm going to add all these tech companies right down here because they're going to depend a lot on how the market trades. Friday, guys, they all did very well. The daily's not showing you that, but if you look at the daily, they had some pretty good intraday trades on these big boys last week. Right, here it is, Roblox, RBLX. Let's see what we got here for Roblox. So Roblox right now, we are up 1.7 on Roblox, 377,000. Now, my issue with this one is it can trade a little funky. I mean, the last couple of, last week, you can see this thing was definitely in place. Some pretty big moves here on Roblox, so again, they've been trading a little bit better than usual. Possible continuation, you cannot deny this thing is in play. I'm going to add RBLX right on here. Just be careful, guys, because this thing can really move, right? This thing can run through dollars like nothing, so you got to be careful with the number of shares you take on this thing here. Next we have NVIDIA. We looked at, Michael, so thank you for that one. That one is good. We have it on deck. Tesla, any room to the upside on Tesla? Man, you just never know. This I would never put it past us on Tesla. I mean, had a huge drop, obviously, with the tweets and everything going on and him selling 10%, all this other nonsense. But this stock just finds a way to bounce back. So I would not be surprised if in a couple of weeks we're back at this 1250. It just won't shock me. Lucid, we do have range bound today. Lucid, I'm not sure. I don't know, man. This thing is it's just been in this somewhat of consolidation here the last couple of days. But look at the beautiful daily we have on this. So if we can get going here, either way, we got shares for sure. So long or short, I think this can be interesting. We have the volume. We have a good pre-market activity. So it's just a good one overall to have on deck. So I like what's happening there. All right. What else we have, guys? So that's Tesla. Let's take a look here. What else you guys like this morning? All right. We will stop here. Hold on. I missed one. CSPR. CSPR. What do we have on CSPR? Oh, no. Oh, look at this thing, guys. No way. No, you do not want to be part of this. At least not now. Not now. I mean, what is it doing? It looks like a buyout. If someone wants to look that up, what the catalyst is, look at this pop here. And then we're just flat with tons of volume, 2.8 million. So that doesn't look good at all right now. It definitely looks like a buyout. All right, let's go ahead and take it over to the chat, to the other chat, which is the YouTube chat. Let's see what you guys have there. Starting with, who do we have here? JH, you're giving a CREX this morning. What do we have here? up 90%. So 90%, 11 million shares traded. I don't like when stocks do this, right? They got the nice pop here and just kind of slowly dwindling down, getting below the VWAP, getting below the moving averages. I don't like that. I don't like the price tag that is at, under $1 and popping up like this, 90%. You just got to be very careful on this one, guys. I'm not a fan of the way it's setting up right now. So just not my style on this one at all. So be careful with that one. Next we have Mara. Yeah, I have Mara on here, guys. I like the fact that they're down today. Their range is pretty active this morning, so I have them there. We also have, let's see, BL&K. Let's see here. No, very light on volume, guys. I'm gonna skip on that one. I don't think it looks great at the moment. We have what else? We have BL&K, GM. Are you GM the stock or GM? Good morning. You probably mean the stock, because this one doesn't trade all that well. Their pre-market action right now not looking all that crazy. Their daily has been incredible. Their daily has been really good. So the last couple of days they've been trading better than they usually do, and you see that here. But right now, I just don't see them great of us one to keep on my deck. Roblox is good, guys, today. I have Roblox here. Again, be careful with this one. On Friday, this thing went from 98 to 108, so it can move. This morning already, your range is from, not that bad, actually. Your range is, no, it's decent. 111 to 107. So it's got a nice range this morning already. Careful on the number of shares you take on that one. Let's take a look at NEO. I don't think NEO is really in play right now. Daily looks possibly interesting if we can get above this 43.40 and maybe test some of the highs, but right now it doesn't have a whole lot going on, guys. 375, I know that's a good volume for many stocks, but as we spoke last week for NEO, it is just not great. All right, perfect, guys. Let's go over to community events and announcements, and you will see a funny face from Norm because I won't have time to change to my screen. So there's Norm frozen. He has locked, for those that just logged on, he has logged off to feel a little better. He's not feeling well. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday to him, and hopefully he feels a whole lot better. Give me 1 second. We might have Peter. Peter is jumping on for us this morning. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to get him a link so Peter can come in, and we can have Peter join us this morning. Say bye to Norm's frozen face. Wish him a happy birthday. Thumbs up as I'm doing this over on YouTube if you guys are enjoying the show and the content. We appreciate it very much, and it does help the channel out a ton, guys. So appreciate you guys doing that. All right, let's get Peter in here. Here is the link for Peter, and here we go. There you go, Peter. We'll wait for Peter to hop on in, and then we'll get to announcements. Maybe Peter can do the announcements. There we go, Peter. How you doing?
I just wanted to be Norm for a second. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, my friend. Just a heads up. So here's our announcements. And then right after this, because I know you don't do this often, we do have Creta right after announcements ready to go. So all yours, buddy.
Fantastic. Well, why don't I get right into it then? This week we have our usual slate of educational information. So it's going to be another great week with some great sessions we'll talk about in a second. Just to get an overview, especially if you're new to Bear Bull Traders this week. Today, on Monday, we start the day, obviously, with our trading throughout the day. We've got our swing trade review with Brian that usually happens in the afternoon. And then tonight, we have our onboarding classes. It's a great introduction to Bear Bull Traders and some overview of what you can how you can structure your day trading journey. On Tuesdays, we have trade reviews that happen at noon with Eamon. That also happens on Thursday, and our success webinars in the evening on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, I already mentioned the trade review with Eamon. We also have mentoring sessions that happen midday and then at the end of the day. And then Friday is usually Crypto Fridays. So as you can see, we have stuff happening all week. And if you're thinking about joining us, you can take advantage of that if you become an elite member. So specifically this week, what are we talking about? Well, let's take a look. This week, we're going to be talking with Eamon on Tuesday. So our strategy session, which happens Tuesday night, is how to trend trade. Eamon has been perfecting his sort of trend trading, intraday trend trading, and is really going to talk about how he's worked on that. Now, Eamon is coming to us live from Russia. So that is an earlier time at 5 o'clock tomorrow night, Tuesday the 16th. Wednesdays is always Psychology Wednesday, and we're going to have Nada with us talking about mindfulness, as she always does. It's a great session, a good reminder about mindfulness and how it can play an important role in your trading. So that's going to be at 8 o'clock, Wednesday, November the 17th. And like I've just been saying, if you want to join us, that would be fantastic. And we'll show you some discounts in a second. This month, as I think Carlos mentioned earlier today, all our super chat donations are going to the Alzheimer's Foundation. We really appreciate it. You guys are so generous in providing those super chats. We don't want to keep them. Not only are we going to give them to Alzheimer's, we will double it. So for every $1 it's worth $2, we're going to make Andrew double that, and he's always happy to do that as we contribute to the monthly charity. So if you want to join Bear Bull, what do we got? Oh, sorry, there's a new thing coming on here. Well, we have introduced in the last month or so our stock trading simulator. It's completely free, no obligation. So if you're just looking for a free simulator where you can sort of replay stocks from the previous day, take a look at this. Not only do we have the stock simulator, which gives information, for our members, we actually run through routines. Eamon puts this together, I think with Simon's help, every day. Say, we'll take a look at this stock over this time period. Gives you an opportunity to practice stocks. You can trade it either sort of at real-time speed, or you can speed it up and just sort of watch how your setups develop in different stocks. It's a great tool. If you haven't been there, bookmark it. Go to stocktradingsimulator.com. And like I've been alluding to, we have discounts for you. So if you want to join us, consider the 1-week membership. That'll give you access to the chat room where we talk live all day. If it's like Thursday and Friday where it's really slow and boring in the afternoon, then we actually have a ton of fun and we talk about all sorts of other things while watching the markets. But join us. The code is premarket24 to get a $24 discounted rate for our onboarding classes in the live chat room. If you want to join as an elite member, or if you've looked and you just want to sort of try it out, use the code Black Friday 45 to get a 45% discount off of our 1-year elite membership. With this now, you also get not only the discount, but 1 month free simulator with DAS. So it's a great deal, and hopefully you'll consider joining us. I want to thank Art for having encouraged me to jump on here. So, and Andrej, you're now making memes out of me. All right. Well, with that, guys, we have a few things to set levels on. But before we do that, it is Monday, which means we get to sort of improve our psychology with Creta. Creta, welcome.
Hi, Peter. Happy Monday to you. And hope Norm's feeling better soon, too.
Yeah, I hope so. It's got to suck to have not feeling well on your birthday, but I'm sure he'll come through.
Sure.
So,
okay, so today's topic is greed. So I know that we're talking about resilience this month. So we're actually talking about how to become more resilient to the concept of greed. So I'm just going to jump into it. So what actually is greed? Well, if we're trying to define it, it's basically an obsession with the P&L, or an over focus on the P&L, and taking actions that you think will get you more money quicker. But the thing about greed is that people sometimes assume in trading that it's like a personality trait, and it's something that they are just they're a victim of in a way. But it's actually not that simple or straightforward. So what people call greed is actually can be one of a multitude of different things. So in your trading, the actions that might look like greed, or that people perceive to be greed, would be things like staying in trades too long because you're trying to squeeze out as much profit as possible, maybe taking too many trades, taking trades that don't fit your A+ setups because you're just itching to get in there and make money. But really, this is actually kind of ironic. So if you think that if you were greedy, your aim was to make loads of money, if you stand back from that and look at it kind of coldly, then you would know that actually following your trading plan is the quickest and most consistent way to actually do that. So when we're talking about greed, there's actually something else going on. It's not really an obsession with money. It's subconscious scripts that are at play and emotions that are being triggered by them. Because if the answer was just to stick to your trading plan and that would get you the money, well, then it would be simple. But what's actually happening is that you're being triggered. And usually, if you think to the emotion that you're feeling before you engage in whatever action it is that you would determine as greed, so any of those things that we discussed a second ago that would come up in your trading actions, so the staying in trades too long or whatever it is, if you think of the emotion that's being triggered before you do that, then you'll have a better idea as to what's behind these actions. So what subconscious script is at play. And so greed is really a product of a mindset that speaks to scarcity or a lack. So there's a perceived lack somewhere, and that's translating itself into greed. So let me explain that a little bit better. So if you have a mindset of scarcity, so maybe a money mindset that says that I'll never have enough money no matter what's in the bank account, then that might prime a feeling of panic. And when you're in the market, then you're trying to get rid of that feeling of panic by making more money. So that's how you actually get led to taking those actions. But also the emotion that could be triggered might actually not necessarily have something to do with money. So you could also have a perceived lack of worthiness in yourself, so a lack of self-worth. How would that link with greed? If you're trying to actually validate yourself, so find validation in the amount of profit that you make or in your trading performance. So you're trying to actually, gain as much profit as possible, because the more profit, the more successful, and therefore the more you feel good about yourself. Then the perceived lack in that situation would be a lack of self-esteem or a feeling that you weren't worthy. And that would then prime the action that you would take that looks like greed on the surface, but it's actually nothing even to do with money. So when it comes to resolving greed, and I know this is going a little bit deep into it, but I think it's an important topic to address because so many people struggle with it. So when we're actually looking at resolving it, there's two ways to approach it. And one is a very practical way. And it's actually surprising how many people don't have rules around this or don't have a structure around it. So the very first place to start is to identify your targets for what profit you would like to make. So think of, in a yearly sense, what financial gains you want to make. So are you looking for a salary out of trading? Then break that down into what you need to be earning monthly, and then weekly, and then daily. And then you might turn that into an or value goal daily, because you don't want to be focusing too much on, hitting a certain amount of profit in a day. But once you have rules around that or a structure, then you know when enough is enough. And that can be really helpful, because if you don't have that target in a day to reach, or a place where okay, if I hit that, then I'm meeting my long-term goals, you're more likely to be engaging in emotionally based trading. So greed is going to take a hold. That's the practical way. And then the other way is to look at the emotion that's being triggered before you take those actions that you're classifying as greed, and then ask yourself, what perceived lack might I be experiencing that's resulting in those actions? And if you can unpick that, then you can disrupt that automatic process. And then you're going to be a whole lot more resilient to the idea of greed. So it takes greed away from being this personality trait that people are helpless against, to actually being something that's completely within your control to resolve.
Greta, that is painfully accurate. but I thank you for helping us actually face sort of the reality of our trading and the motivations behind it. So I've got to say, by the way, last Wednesday I had the opportunity, obviously, just to sit and listen to what you shared, and it had a deep impact. It really helped me for the rest of the week, and I hope it's going to continue through this week. So thank you so much for doing these sessions. They're always extremely valuable.
Fab. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks a lot. All right, guys. Well, now we can get back to doing some levels and take a look later at our moderators' watch list.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Kreda. Over on YouTube, guys, please hit that thumbs up for Kreda. We appreciate her coming on twice a week. We'll see her again on Wednesday morning with our psychology session. So, all right, perfect, guys. Let's get to it. I was looking at Apple here. Apple's pre-market, it's starting to look pretty decent. I think it can get better. Puppet Master was looking at this one as well in our YouTube chat, and we'll see. I'll add it on here. Again, I think a lot of these tech companies is going to depend a lot on what the overall market is going to do. The Apple, the AMD, NVIDIA, Nvidia starting to push higher here. I mean, they all have a very similar daily, right? We got the pop, we got the drop, and kind of consolidation on the daily here. Nvidia's looking, AMD is looking good as well. Apple is a little bit more messier on the daily, not as clean as Nvidia or AMD, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's do some levels here, guys. Let's start with TLRY, which I think it just looks great today, guys. Great volume, 2.6, up 5%. This is looking very, very nice. We got some levels in here already. We'll see how much of those we're going to keep. Some of them are overlapping with the lows and highs of the last trading day. Here's Riot. Riot has started off very well. Seems to kind of be getting a little flat now, not doing a whole lot. Their daily looks interesting, so we'll see. ACB, I'm not going to keep all of these. ACB, I got CGC, and I got TRY. So TRY for sure is going to stay on my list. Maybe CGC looks a little, these two are very similar. I'm on the fence. We'll see. BA staying on here, very active. Lucid has been incredible. We'll keep this one on here as well. You know what? We'll do levels for all of these, and then I'll see what the moderators throw out later. If we have time towards the back, and we can look at some other different charts. But right now, let's keep a track of these. I'm going to remove every level we have here. I'm going to mark the high of the pre-market over at 1377 on TLRY. If we look towards the bottom of the low of the pre-market, pretty much slamming against the bottom of the previous day close and the highs from the last trading day. So we're set there. Towards the top, we do have some levels over here. I think we had this one before. 1425 will slam a level there. And then above that on the daily, nice area here as well. A couple of touches on here, around 15 bucks. Right on there, that's perfect. So got some levels towards the top. Towards the bottom, you have plenty. I don't think you need to add anything else. You got some very significant levels being listed there. Where the prices right now are just slightly below it, you do have a lot of touches around this 1351, right? If you zoom in here, you can see plenty of days opening, closing right around that 1351. So I'm going to mark that down. In the pre-market, you can see a little play on this level already early on, even as support and resistance. So again, I think it's a good level to have on here. We'll see how that's going to play out. Volume right now, guys, very good on TLRY. I believe is really, really heavily in play this morning. Here is Riot. Again, I'm not a big fan of it right now, but we'll see. I like the pop up 6%, almost 1.5 million shares traded here. So it's got the volume. It's got the nice daily, beautiful breakout on Friday. And it's got potential for a good continuation here. So I think it has a lot going for it. Where the price action is right now, I'm going to mark that slightly below that. That has been an area of some good support this morning. So I'm going to slam a level there. That is going to be around 46.85-ish or so. So put a level there. Let's look back at our daily. What's above this 49.07, which is our high of our pre-market. If we zoom into this time frame between February and May, it looks like. In here, we do have some levels right on there. This would be 53.33. Up here, that's a nice one too, 60.65. Again, areas where you're seeing a lot of touches, a lot of opening and closing, a lot of previous day closes, a lot of bounces. All that is being done here at this 53.33. So I want to have that down as a possible level this morning. So that looks good. Towards the bottom, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last two trading days. Below the previous day close, maybe we add 42.90, maybe 43 to be exact. But that's probably the only thing you need to add on here. You're looking pretty good towards the bottom. ACB this morning, nice little pop here. I got TRY, which I think is one of my favorite ones. But this one doesn't look bad. You got great volume on this one too, 566. High of the pre-market at 889. Towards the bottom, you have the previous day close, highs and lows from the last two trading days. What a breakout Friday, guys. Look at this breakout above this 780-ish level we had here. That had been some resistance on this stock for some time. Was not able to get above that Friday. A beautiful breakout, and now we're slamming up against another level of a daily resistance as well. You can see that clearly right on here. You got some resistance happening here. Towards the top, you got some very clear levels here. 951, obviously, all the way up here at a 1062. In between here, you have some smaller time levels, but I think still worth putting down here, like this one here, this 917. Not bad. You got an area of a little bit of support there, a little bit of resistance, some more support. So that's okay. You can put that on there, support up here. So that's good. Yeah, I think you can keep that on there as well. So that's pretty good. Towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last two trading days. Big move here. It's funny how we had two big moves towards the top this time, and then when we get slammed down here as well, it's right within this range. Does not like to be within this range a whole lot. Looks like so you don't have a whole lot of daily stuff on there recently, but we do have this 801, which is probably just the whole dollar number right on there. But again, this thing's looking strong, guys. Up 4.1. Let's see if that can continue. CGC, I'm gonna take off. Out of all of them, this one seems to be the less attractive one, right? So I like ACB, I like TRY. These are looking a little bit better. I'm going to remove CGC. You can watch that one if you like, and if you have space for it, keep it on your list. Here is BA, which today we are up 3.2. High of the pre-market sitting over at a 228. Let's get that right, 228.80. Above that, we do have one pop over here. Man, their daily has been so bad lately. Look at these candles, just all over the place. Nothing clean here. We had some good clean trading on BA over here, right? We had some nice moves. You can see how clean this was. We'll see. Hopefully this thing can get some good movement today, but they're up nicely this morning with 700,000, which is actually good volume for BA. That's a great volume for them. 237 here, and up here we'll mark down 241 for BA. Here's before I forget,
BA's been ugly to trade.
It has been.
So much so that John, in fact, took it off his list with prejudice. So
no way.
Yeah, careful if you're.
Thank you for that.
BA.
I haven't looked at it in a while, but it just doesn't look like it has been great. I was looking at this daily here, and if you dig into this, it just doesn't look like it has been great. Had a couple of pops here. We'll see. We'll put it on there. Definitely not the best one on the list this morning. Lucid, on the other hand, this thing, I know the daily looks a little funky here, guys, but the breakouts on this stock with volume have been really, really good. So I definitely want to keep an eye on this one, guys. 2.2 million shares traded, getting a little bit of resistance right here at 44.43. So I'm going to slam that a level down there. And then once you do that, you're pretty much stuck within this range. Highs and lows of the last two trading days. Right on the previous day close at the moment right there, slightly above that. So we got tons of levels. I don't think we need to add anything more to this one. The volume is here. Is what direction are we going to take today? We were green very early on, red, and now green again after some good volume. So we'll see what Lucid does here. All right, let's head over to our moderators lineups. All right, let's bring this over here, see what we got going on. Let's see here, and I'm going to, here we go. Let's share the moderators list right over here. If I could find the button. There's the button. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this thing for you guys. Hold on. Let's get rid of disable video. Yeah, let me get rid of that for you. There you go. Okay, let's start with Trader John. Trader John is looking at top list: Microsoft, Facebook, PayPal. It's Monday, no surprise here. No IPOs, no SPACs. As Peter reports, Dima is looking at Lucid, BA, AMD, Apple, Facebook for Mike, BA, and NVIDIA. Tiffany's looking at Lucid, Mara, BA. Peter, you like AMD, Lucid, GGPI, TLRY, Apple, and Riot this morning. So that's the lineup so far as we get going this morning. So
GGPI is sort of a SPAC, like you mentioned, or maybe it was Norm that mentioned it earlier, which I wouldn't normally look at. But frankly, anything in the EV space recently, people seem to get excited about, except for Rivian. Was the one disappointment that really has not traded well. But Lucid LCID has been fantastic, I've got to say, over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Lucid has been great, guys. I mean, the intraday trading on this one has been very nice. The volume has been there. Everything's been very, very explosive. And today is looking pretty decent as well with that type of volume. So GGPI, hold on, let me take a look at that one. GGPI. I took this off my list. What didn't I like on this? It gapped up. I don't know. Let's put it on here.
They're apparently like they're going to change their name soon, but people seem to be positioning for that because the merger with Polestar, of course, which now makes them a EV SPAC. So,
gotcha. Guys, looking at drug here, this is not looking good. So say no to drugs there. That is looking horrible. At least this drug is not looking good at all. It's dropping here. quite aggressively. And again, just the overall price action on this is dangerous. So be very careful with that one. I'm going to keep it here for entertainment purposes. You know what? No, I'm not even going to do that on a Monday. Let's just get rid of it. I just don't need to look at something that's trading like that. Here's Brian coming in with his list. He's looking at Otley, OTLY, Drug, Egypt, well, not Egypt, but EYPT, Facebook, Tesla, and LAC. Simon is looking at Baba, Billy, Plug, and BA this morning. He got some price key levels there for you as well. So, guys, with that said, thank you so much for joining the pre-market prep over on YouTube. We appreciate you guys very, very much for joining this morning to get our week started. Happy birthday one more time to Norm. Hopefully he feels better today. And guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. It helps us out a whole lot. If you're new here, we'll be live again tomorrow at 8 a.m. with Jared. So make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys then. Take care, everyone, and trade safe.
Everybody, happy, healthy birthday, Norm.